This episode of the WP Minute is brought to you by Pressable. You know what the best hosting feels like? Nothing. No panic alerts. No mystery downtime. No, hey, is the site down? Slack messages. That's the Pressable experience. WordPress hosting so reliable you forget it's even there. We keep your site fast, secure, and up 100% of the time, so you can get back to building, selling, blogging, or binging cat videos. No judgment, whatever you want to do. Go to Pressable.com/WP Minute and try hosting that disappears in all the right ways. Pressable.com/WP Minute. Pressable.com/WP Minute. Thanks, Pressable, for supporting the show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the WP Minute. I'm your host, Eric Karkovack. And today my guest is Rodolfo. And if you're into WooCommerce, you probably know a little bit about this man. He is behind the outstanding website Business Bloomer, which I have used so many times over the years, I can't tell you. And he's also organizing a WooCommerce event called the Checkout Summit. It's going to be taking place from April 23rd to 24th, 2026 in beautiful Palermo, Sicily. Rodolfo, welcome to the WP Minute.
Well, thank you so much, Eric. It's an absolute pleasure. And I must say that after all these years of, hiding behind the screen and the keyboard, it's now time to, come back in real life and in person. And that's the ultimate goal of the conference, of, my rebranding, my personal rebranding as well, because I believe that it's the only way to fight against AI.
Yeah, we are definitely in a different kind of moment with that. I do want to get your opinion on that in a minute, but I as I said, I am a frequent visitor to Business Bloomer. Your visual hook guides have helped me so much in customizing sites for clients. So I thank you for building that, and I know you have a great club of where you share knowledge. How did you first get into all of that with WooCommerce? How did you start deciding, hey, I'm going to educate people on how to do different things with Woo?
That's an interesting question. And I have to say, it's a mix of luck, as usual, and a mix of, hey, this luck is actually working. Let me do more of it. So my luck was that back in 2012, almost at the beginning of my web design career, I'm a civil engineer, nothing to do with web design, web development.
That's a very different field, yes.
Yeah, no background whatsoever. And I was let go, and I said, what am I going to do? So I'll just do websites. Why not? Sounds like a nice lifestyle. And my first clients were actually local e-commerce entrepreneurs in Ireland when I used to live there. And I picked WooCommerce out of a hat, to be honest. I had absolutely no idea what the difference were between that and Magento at the time and whatever else was around. And I picked that. Then I enjoyed it very much. So I built, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 websites maybe at the time for clients. And I noticed that every time I used to basically reuse some code snippets or reuse some, knowledge base or, kept doing always the same thing. And I say, hold on, I have a personal website where I have the portfolio and where I share some tips sometimes. Why don't I save these code snippets for myself? So next line that comes up, I simply copy and paste. And that was the luck, because from that moment onwards, I noticed huge spike in Google Analytics at the time. And I said, hold on, what's going on? Why are these tutorials getting... They were not tutorials. They were simply a title, 3 words, and the snippet. And they were getting so much traffic. And I said, hold on, what am I doing here? I definitely should be starting to curate a weekly, blog post sharing exactly these things. And I used to be on Fiverr at the time as well. And I was the only one at the time doing WooCommerce customization. So I used to get 2-3 clients per day doing very small edits. So I simply basically copied and pasted all my snippets from the client work to my website, scheduled it so I could have a frequent publishing of my tutorials and posts. And then my whole world basically changed around. And from web designer, I became a WooCommerce expert specialized in customization. So I wasn't dealing any longer with people without a website. I was now dealing with people with a website that already spent money and now needed a customization or an edit. And those visual guides, which are still relevant, even though now with blocks, they've gone a little bit obsolete if you want to. But that depends on which way you're developing websites. I mean, for me, they're still super relevant. Those were simply, hold on, I need a place where I can simply copy and paste hooks and I know exactly where they're placed without having to scroll through the plugin code base every time and search for specific keywords. And that's how they were born. And basically this initial luck and then seeing how the traffic was growing, like we were at the very beginning of the WooCommerce success. So there was so much traffic, so much people coming to my site. And for years, I basically did no networking, no podcasts, no in real life conferences, nothing except publishing blog posts. And that was my only source of income and stayed like that until a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's incredible. That was a fun time for WordPress developers, I think, because everything was kind of exploding at that point. And if you had a resource like Business Bloomer where you could find these code snippets, that was like finding gold for a developer, especially because, I mean, with WooCommerce, everything is so customizable, right? So people will ask, clients are going to inevitably ask for things that I don't know how to do. And here you have this website that has all of these great tips, and I can look and see, oh, this is how Rodolfo did it, and kind of apply it to my work. And so I think you deserve a lot of credit for the growth of WooCommerce just because you've helped so many people along with customizing it. Indeed.
I would say I'm an evangelist of WooCommerce customization and flexibility and, the potential that this system has had and still has, because at some stage, even WooCommerce.com, they removed whatever tutorials they had on their website as well. Loads of snippets, loads of customizations, tutorials. So I don't know why they did that. And therefore, I got basically all the traffic off it as well. And then competitors came, of course. Copycats came, of course. And then AI came a couple of years ago. And now I'm here looking for Plan B.
Well, I mean, I definitely want to talk about the event in a minute, but I did want to ask you, like, what are your opinions on where WooCommerce is today? Because we've seen Shopify and some other competitors come along and probably winning on the ease of use portion of things. But where do you see WooCommerce right now in the market and, how it's evolving?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a $10 million question, probably, because that strictly depends on the client requirements, but also on the developer as well. I mean, there's so many developers that think that WooCommerce is not good, it's rubbish. A lot of other developers that think that Shopify is too expensive and it's not worth, investing in it, or they're not familiar with it and they stick with WooCommerce and vice versa. So it's a mix. There's no answer to that. I mean, over the last few years, we've seen like millions of clients going from WooCommerce to Shopify, and maybe millions of clients like going back to WooCommerce as well, or moving into the opposite direction. So sometimes a certain business has some problem, and that's coming maybe from hosting. I mean, not necessarily from the plugin itself, and then say, and then thinks, oh, that's WooCommerce fault, and I need to switch to something else, and then they move to Shopify, and then they change their mind again, and after 2 years, and say, oh my God, this is too expensive, or I can't achieve what I want to achieve because I need to install like 10 apps, or it's a closed environment, so you can really do everything that you want to. And with WooCommerce, if you want to, you can really make it yours. And with that, I mean, yes, you own your data, you're free, it's open source, and you control the code. You can fork it, you can copy, you can do whatever you want. But at the same time, it's super flexible. I mean, if you want to achieve something, and now we come back once again to the AI era. Like, you can do so much stuff with WooCommerce plus AI, or even without it, just by you going through the code and looking for hooks and, filters and actions, and edit the template or the admin, or change the display or whatever it is. It's so cool, and still like so manageable, so flexible, and such a cool piece of software that I never had, basically, of course, the time, but also the will of experimenting with Shopify, simply because up to this moment, like, I was completely flat out with work, clients, my website, like content writing, and now even shooting, because I'm doing lots of videos now, and the membership and the Slack channel. I mean, that really keeps me busy, like 24/7.
Sure. So tell me a story behind Checkout Summit. So what led you to decide that you wanted to put on an event? Because that's quite a big deal compared to, putting out videos and blog posts.
Oh, it is. In fact, I hope I'm not going to regret this, to be honest. And I'm going to arrive alive to April the 23rd. So the story was this: like, over the years, there had been a few WooCommerce conferences called WooConf, organized by WooCommerce. I think they did 3 of them around 2016, 17, 18, or something like that, in America. Austin, Washington, and New York, maybe. So at the time, like, I wasn't really making, enough money, and I didn't invest into buying a ticket and a flight and visa, and I didn't want to bother with it. But I kind of liked the idea. Then, like, over the years, I was at WordCamps, especially WordCamp Europe, like almost every year. I tried to make it, an appointment for myself, and just spend some time with people, and the other 363 days, behind a keyboard in my little house room. So it's good for me. And over the years, like, I posted on Twitter and blogged about WooConf forever. Like, please, can we please get it back? Like, after COVID, of course. I think it's such a great idea. So good for WooCommerce. Like, WordCamps, they basically removed, for some reason, all the WooCommerce talks and all the WooCommerce people as a result of this. So I think at WordCamp EU, there was one WooCommerce talk out of 50, and WordCamp US, maybe just one, or maybe an e-commerce talk, super generic. So for some reason, people stopped either pitching WooCommerce talks. I mean, I kept pitching WooCommerce talks, like 3 talks per WCEU, and was never picked for that. So I guess there was some decision there. All right. So basically, I've been asking WooCommerce for years on social, through blog posts, in any possible way to get back into in-person conferences, because I think it was badly needed. Then at WordCamp EU 2025, so we're talking about June, a few weeks ago, basically, I was talking to some WooCommerce folks there in the hallway, as usual. That's my usual WordCamp EU experience, like spending loads of time in the hallway. And we're talking about WooCommerce and, the future and blogs and stuff. And then also we say, listen, how come there's still no WooCommerce talks at WorkCamp.eu, and what can we do about that? I say, you know what? Like, I think I'm going to do my own conference. I've been thinking about a retreat sort of thing for a few years, like doing a very small gathering. And then I say, why not extending it to like more people? Still, I wanted to keep it small, so not like 3,000 people, which to me is like super overwhelming. And I tend to talk to the same 5 people for those 3 days at WorkCamp.eu when I'm happy with it. And then the other 2,995 people, they're like strangers to me. That's my way of being. And I still want to do a small conference, but I'll do it. You know what? I'll go for it. And then I went back home and I said, like, you crazy, Rodolfo? Like, you're going to do this, like, all on your own. And where are you going to do it? Like, how are you going to find sponsors, speakers, volunteers, and media partners? And you need to build a website, and you need to get quotes, and you need to come up with something that can actually pay you something. Like, I can't do these on a volunteer basis, like trying to break even, like, 100% of WordCamps. And say, are you doing the right thing? And then, say what I said. I said, I have some time, like it was June, so it was the summer. And in the summer, we usually move to the beach house. So I kind of have some extra time because the kid stays with grandma, and, I go to the beach and there's more time off. I can just leave and go to the office there and spend some time and say, I think that this might work. Let's do some calls to close by venues. So I didn't want to go far away from where I live. I said, let's look for venues in Palermo, and they must have rooms because I don't want people to go searching for like accommodation around. Like, if you have a conference and rooms at the conference, it's going to be easier. And also I wanted to be at the beach. So I had a very specific requirement, which was, a big conference hotel has to be at the beach, because why people would go to conferences otherwise. And then I picked 3 or 4 of them when visiting them in July. Were like 45 degrees Celsius. It was like sweating like crazy, but I had no choice. And I picked 2 of them, and then I came up with one, and I said, this is gonna be okay. I'm gonna do it. And I built the website all on my own. I, came up with a budget, with a plan. I started to build in public, which, because I'm a solo founder, really helped me, like getting help from anybody. So, am I going to have 1 track or double tracks or 2 tracks? Am I going to, have to provide food or not? Or shall we have like a DJ or a quiet after party? And all these kind of decisions, they're all based on Twitter polls. And I didn't get, thousands of votes, but I had an idea, and that, that was kind of the same with that people thought in their voting on these polls. And then I copied the results of these polls, and I created blog posts for the website. And it was a lot of work, I have to say. Like July and August, I was spending quite a lot of time on this. And it was all fluff, to be honest, because I had a website, I had content, I had a logo, I had a venue, and then nothing to show. So in September, I said, I have to sell tickets. Like, I don't care, even if I don't have speakers, I don't have sponsors, but I need to see if this is real. And then 50 tickets later, which would be 1/3 of the expected attendees, because I don't want to have a big event. So 150, it's a nice number, especially for year one. And I say, if 50 tickets sold without doing anything, like just sharing the link on Twitter and now LinkedIn as well, and I didn't announce anyone yet, like just a place, a date, and a WooCommerce conference for makers. And then they actually bought the ticket. Okay, listen, now it's real. Now it's happening. So now I need to put some work on it and, start looking for great speakers and hopefully get sponsors.
Let's talk a little bit about what people can expect then. I mean, I know you don't have speakers quite yet. I know you've been asking for submissions. Have you gotten a lot of good submissions yet? Are the people that you think are going to be a good fit?
Yeah. I think that I managed to attract the right audience, both in regarding to attendees. So if you go to the attendees page, you have like agency owners, product managers, 6, 7, 8 figures developers. So that's exactly who I was looking for, like the decision makers or the experts or the successful ones. And speaking of speakers, I got about 20 submissions. Now, if you think it's going to be 2 days of conference and a single track, like I chose to have just 12 speakers. And the reason is that I want to have the time to do loads of networking. I want to have the time to do loads of hallway chats. I want to have the time to do breaks. There is a swimming pool if the weather is nice. There are happy hours. And those are the actual moments where business happens. Business doesn't happen when you're sitting listening to someone. So I'm trying to pick the best 12 possible speakers and also let people network and, find their peers. And, if you're looking into acquisitions, then, you need to talk to. If you're looking to hire someone, then you know who's for hire. If you need to create partnerships, then we will find you people there. And that's almost my goal, which is a kind of a curated networking sessions where on top of being a content first conference, which it was my goal from the very beginning, because WordCamps usually are super generic talks and topics because they need to cater for all sorts of levels. In this case, I want topics to be like, you need to attend them. Like they must be, super helpful and super relevant. And they must contain the WooCommerce keyword in the title. I mean, that's the number one requirement. And they must be about making you money at the end, whether it's saving time or learning a new thing or, learning a business trick or, copying someone's decision, whatever it is, they need to make you money. And the networking as well is going to be important. We're in Sicily. So, I mean, to me, like food is so important too. So there's going to be like all paid for, like, breakfast is coming with your accommodation. And then you got coffee breaks, lunch, after hours, happy hours, dinners, after dinners, like all paid for, included in the ticket. So I really want people to also enjoy food if they're into food, or drinking if they're into drinking. It doesn't really make any difference as long as they enjoy this as both a business trip and also a fun and relaxing trip. And that was the goal, and that was the reason why I chose nearby Palermo, because within the area, you can always hire a car and go visit amazing places. I mean, Palermo city wouldn't be the best city in the world, but, you just drive 20 minutes and you're on a beautiful beach, or, you drive 1 hour and you're in a natural reserve, and like there's so many things around here, which are super interesting if someone wants to stay on for longer.
Yeah, that seems to me like, as I mentioned to you before we recorded, it's rainy, it's cold here. You wouldn't have to talk long to convince me to go there and enjoy the beach and enjoy the nature and just the beauty of Italy. So, and my gosh, the food. So that I think you picked the absolute right place to have it. So I noticed that you didn't want to have a live stream or post videos of the conference. And from what you've told me here about, just a lot of in-person networking, that makes sense. Was it a hard decision for you to make, though?
So it was and it wasn't. I mean, live streaming and recording, first of all, costs money, like loads of money. And because this is all on my basically own, I'm investing my own money to make this up and hope that the money comes back from sponsors and ticket sales. Like, first of all, it's an expense. But most importantly, we've been, talking about in-person events for years. Like, there are amazing online conferences like, WP sessions, WooSesh, WordCamps are live streamed if you really want to rewatch things. Loads of other conferences do live streaming, recording. And I said, hold on, I need to tell people that this is all about the people, actually. It's all about coming here. I mean, it's only 150 people or not, I don't need to live stream to 5,000 people all over the world. I just want 150 in Sicily to come and actually put faces on people that they've always seen online. So the live stream and the recording goes basically against my ideal conference type, which would be I go there, I speak to those people, and that's it. Like, no pressure. I don't want to live stream and record because I want people to say, oh, I can't make it, so I'll just watch it from my office.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Like, I want actually people to show up, and otherwise networking wouldn't happen. So that's also a way, or if you want to say a trick, to, let people understand that this is all about the people. So we're talking about content earlier. So it's a content first, people first conference, because it is what we've been looking for, what we've been asking for the last few years within the WooCommerce ecosystem. And that's what I would love to be communicating.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea in this era where everything is live streamed, everything is always online. It would be nice just to get together and feel a little bit sense of intimacy and privacy, right? We don't normally get that when we go out anymore. We certainly don't get it online, and we definitely, in a lot of conferences these days, we don't get it.
True. And let me add one last thing for speakers.
Sure.
Like, just the thought of not being recorded or not being on a live stream, can allow them to, let go and say whatever they want. And, the occasional swearing, I'm okay with that. And, if you disagree with something, I'm okay with that. I mean, for sure, you're going to get 100% honest speakers, and you're going to get good quality. And if they're shy, it's not a problem, because they can do mistakes and no one is going to ever know. So it's totally okay. And it's going to be, very relaxed and social and chilled out event. And that's my goal. So I hope to get there, to achieve it.
It sounds like it's going to be a wonderful event in a beautiful place. So how can people get tickets? How can people learn more?
Yeah, so the website is checkoutsummit.com, of course. So I don't know how the .com was available, but that's also a reason why I chose this brand name. And at the moment, so I guess up until this second batch of tickets sell out, they still can get in at a discounted rate.
So definitely go to checkoutsummit.com, learn more about the event. Also go to businessbloomer.com. That's Rodolfo's membership site, where you can learn just about anything you want to know about WooCommerce and how to customize it to match your needs. You're going to get great information there. Rodolfo, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's been, again, a pleasure. And as I said, sometimes it's actually good to have a conversation about your own business, because as a solo founder, it's like you spend so much time on the business and then you never talk to anyone. So this is a great chance for me just to, think about, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this going to work? And apparently it is going to work. And hopefully I will work as much as I can in the next 6 months to make it happen and to make this like such a wonderful event that hopefully people will want to come back the following year, and who knows where, and who knows when.
Well, I don't think you're going to have too much trouble getting people to want to come to Sicily, and the event sounds like it's going to be outstanding. So congratulations on your work so far, putting it together, and good luck the rest of the way. I know you're going to get it. But that's going to wrap up our episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please visit us over at thewpminute.com/subscribe. You can get our newsletter there, and you can become a member and support the content we create here at the WP Minute. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the WP Minute, part of the Matt Report Media Network. This episode wouldn't be possible without our amazing pillar sponsors, Pressable, Kinsta, GoDaddy, 20i, and Elementor. These brands are supporting WordPress media and helping us invest in your future as a WordPress professional. Our Foundation Plus sponsors like Hostinger, Big Scoots, Stellar WP, Personalized WP, Weglot, and PatchStack help us keep the lights on. Thanks to all of our members in the WP Minute Slack channel, which you can join too. Head on over to thewpminute.com/support to get access. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to hit the share button or tell a friend about this podcast. See you in the next one.